ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025 continues, and this is the big game because it's the final of the mixed quadrant event. Thailand are going to take on Myanmar.
To please report on court number 1.
The men and women who matter. The referees have done a phenomenal job here at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup. With me in the commentary box, I've got Drew Lilly joining me. Welcome, Drew, and this final promises to be a good one, but also a word on the referees, very consistent and good throughout the tournament.
That's right, Nishad. Yep, and you need a fair few of them. You need the main referee, one on the other side of the net from them as the net judge. You then need 2 line judges, looking at the lines, the sideline and the baselines to see whether the ball was in or out. You then have a table judge who is there to make sure that everything is filled in correctly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025, Bihar, India. It's not just a game. It's a chance to create memories that will last a lifetime. Match number 15 on court number 1, mixed quad grand finale between Thailand versus Myanmar. Presenting to you, Team Thailand.
The Thais, the favourite for anything they enter. 3 men, 3 women, 4 on court at any one time, 2 men, 2 women. That young lad at the front is probably going to be kept on the sidelines. That's Putawan. He featured very heavily in the doubles, the successful doubles campaign for Thailand's men. But he's going to be on the bench today. You can see at the bottom, Sirinan and Putawan on the bench. Seksan and Tawisak, the men. Masaya and Vipada, the women. Seksan will be the server.
Put your hand together for Team Myanmar.
Myanmar, who have done incredibly well at this tournament so far, the ISTAF Sepaktakraw 2025 World Cup. They've got 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze already. And now, well, obviously, they've got at the very least a silver in the bag here. Not that they will be content with silver. It's becoming one of the big rivalries now, Thailand versus Myanmar. For a long time, Thailand versus Malaysia in the men, Thailand, Vietnam in the women. Here come Myanmar. The men's players, Zinko, the captain, he'll be behind the service line, and Min Kant up front at the net, and then Ninwai and Po will be doing a lot of defensive duties and setting.
Overall, Myanmar have been really good throughout the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup, and I mean across categories, and that's really great to see. A team that has also challenged Thailand in different categories haven't quite crossed the line yet against Thailand, apart from the women's squad final. Sorry, that was Vietnam. Vietnam had won that, but Myanmar getting the better of Thailand men in the men's doubles groups.
Right, Myanmar winning the women's doubles, getting a silver in the men's doubles, and they also picked up a bronze in the men's quadrant. So they've got 1 of each so far, and they're going to get another one. Thailand winning the men's quadrant. Runners-up in the women's quadrants, losing to Vietnam as they tend to do nowadays. Vietnam getting the better of them in the women's, and then the men's doubles, Thailand as well. Two groups we had in the mixed quadrant, Group A and Group B. One of them was a real group of death that Thailand found themselves in, defeated Malaysia 2-1. That was so close, could have gone either way. Myanmar in the group stages, and then Sri Lanka cruised past them. And then earlier today on day 5, they defeated Vietnam quite comfortably in the semi-final. So very much the tougher of the two groups for Thailand.
Yes, and we had covered the game against Vietnam, which they won in straight sets. The second set, though, had gone to a 17-pointer. Thailand never really troubled, but this is Myanmar's road to the final. Overcame India in the semi-final, won that 2-0. The only game that they dropped was against Thailand in the group stage, which sort of ensured that they finished on the second spot in that group, and this is the second time that they are meeting Thailand in this tournament.
Time for them to get revenge. Zin Kaur gets us underway. Tawisak spiking at the net. Just a reminder, or maybe for your information, it might be the first time you're watching Sepaktakraw. It's best of 3 sets, so first to 2, and then first to 15 in each set. Alternating services as well, from one team to the other. And what a perfect service that was from Seksan, the lefty. Comes in at a different angle anyway, but that one clipped the tape as it went over, which means it deviates and is incredibly difficult to pick up. First blood to Thailand. They've got the first 2 points, both receiving service, where you expect to score, and then serving yourself when you don't expect to score.
That's Rachan Vipan on the right, leading Thailand to the medal in the men's quadrant event, and then in the doubles as well. Watching from the sidelines, supporting his team, backing them. There's one by Min Kant. Min Kant was really good in the doubles, in the men's doubles. Just to illustrate what you spoke about earlier, Seksan, even in the match against Vietnam, got a few taped serves in very well. The accuracy was good.
He's a reasonably tall player. We look at Phitsanapong, another of the Thai delegation here. He hasn't featured all that much in this tournament, and this is pretty much it as far as the Thais are concerned, because they haven't entered the men's regu, which is the 3-a-side competition.
A bit of work for Masaya there earlier when she had to save that particular ball.
Can be quite difficult in quadrant because you've got 4 players on the court at any one time, so there's a lot of limbs out there. You need to get out of the way of those who are expecting to receive the ball, like Vipada, and then you find yourselves on one side waiting to be involved, or maybe you're not involved for a good 5 minutes at a time, and then all of a sudden you're called upon just to keep the ball alive. Can be difficult. Right, the first challenge that we've seen, it's been challenged, I believe, by Thailand, because the call was that it was out. No, it's been challenged by Myanmar because it was called in, the spike, by Thailand. Referees will have a look at the video evidence, and then once they've decided, once they're happy with what they've seen, they will call the 2 team managers over and explain to them the conclusion that they've come to. Vipada is she's a tekong, usually she's a tekong in doubles and quadrant, where everybody can serve. It doesn't matter, you don't have a specific server. You get certain people who like to take on the service duties, but you can alternate. And she's proved to be a very strong server when you're serving from behind the baseline in doubles and quadrant. So let's see this one again. It was called in. It was called in initially, and that's been confirmed. So instead of it being 4-3, it's 5-2.
That was a very good serve in by Seksan.
It's quite reasonably tall, but quite powerful. And you see the spin there as well. And that's what you need to do in any kind of sport. You target two players, get it in between them. Myanmar taking a timeout already.
An early timeout for Myanmar as Thailand have taken that lead, 6-2.
Will be someone who will be happy with that. He's obviously impartial as the acting president of ISTAF, Kun Bunchai Lord Pipat, who is Thai. He'll be happy that Thailand are doing well, but as I say, impartial as the acting president of the International Sepaktakraw Federation. And even if you are impartial, you'll appreciate the spike there by Tawisak. One for the neutrals, one that they will enjoy. Something I'm picking up on today, day 5, compared with day 4 when we had the group stage of this particular event. Thailand seem to be more on their game. They're a little bit lackluster at times. They found themselves in what we've called the group of death with Myanmar and Malaysia. And they could have lost to Malaysia. Could have, should have. It was incredibly close. And they seem to be strolling around and taking things almost for granted. But there's a bit more pep in their step today. Speaking of one for the neutrals, how about that?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful work. And you're quite right about Thailand. There's the finish just off Minkant and out of the park. That was quite an intense rally. And having watched them earlier today in that semi-final against Vietnam, just to elaborate on that, as Tawisak, he is just off the court. In the semi-final against Vietnam, we could see that they had put in a much better effort. They were more clinical, more disciplined. And although they were challenged in the second set, once it was 14-all, they didn't leave it to chance. They took it to 17 on their own. And Thailand have taken a timeout now. An early lead for Thailand in the first set in the final, 8-3. As Tektan gets ready to serve yet again.
Even when the blocks don't work for Thailand, they're still getting up there, getting them and making it close. You can tell that today it's about the medals, and that's where Thailand come alive.
Trying to go for that taped serve again. Zinkoko doesn't get it over the net.
Three Thais together, and they're going to put their heads in. And they're trying to create a wall that the opposition can't see around, so the opposition doesn't know. They can guess where the ball's coming on service, but they won't know for sure until it appears above the little wall of Thai heads.
Yes, they are quite reasonably tall. Vivada is also on the taller side, alongside Tavisak and Masaya over there. Just approaching the referee's desk for the moment. Had an interesting conversation with one of the referees today, obviously on the other commentary stream. He said that in training the referees are told not to be too serious on court, be confident, but not too serious, because if you're too serious, then the complexion of the game could get affected.
Yeah, if you're permanently scowling, then the players are going to scowl back, and it invites an argument. Whereas when it's all smiles, it's okay, fair enough, we're all human, we're all here doing our best. Doing our best, and obviously it's the best in terms of both the players and the officials.
Even the overall disciplinary levels have been quite good. We haven't seen too many cards throughout the tournament, so that's also one of the good things here.
Picture perfect spike by Tawisak. Floating through the air. Takes the ball at almost its highest point just as it's coming back down, so he could get the toes of his shoe over the top of it and send it back down at the acutest of angles just over the net. But they're just getting a head out of the way at the last moment. Doing a good job in disguising. Masaya keeps that one alive. Rarely called upon, but a great save and set by her.
Yes, rarely called upon, but there have been times when she's really retrieved some of those spikes very well. A similar thing also happened a couple of times in the semi-final. Masaya saved a couple of those spikes put in by Vietnam and then converted them to those opportunities.
Good low service, but it's picked up well. Seksan getting in on the act, saying, I'm a left-footed roll spiker. And everyone giving him a round of applause. Masaya pointing to him, going, what are you doing at the net?
Goes back to his coach as well. Just gives him a namaste.
More of a sawadika. He's from Thailand. 13-7. They are running away with this.
What's it called in Thai? I didn't quite pick up the name because I don't know about that though.
Well, just putting the hands together and saying hello is sawadika. Back to his more familiar role of saving and setting Seksan. And that sets up 7 set points.
Game point 47.
Goes for the big serve, but puts it out.
I think you're allowed to go for a big serve when you're 7 points to the good. You can afford to try to go out in a blaze of glory, but this is where they'll be looking to convert the set.
How easily have Thailand won the first set in the mixed quadrant final here? It's as if they have reserved their best Sepaktakraw for the big game, which is the gold medal game against Myanmar. And Thailand have won the first set 15-8 and are leading 1-0 in this final. थाईलैंड ने 1-0 से बढ़त ले ली है यहाँ पर ISTAF सेपकटाक्राव वर्ल्ड कप 2025 के मिक्स्ड क्वाड्रेंट फाइनल में। ये इनका फाइनल म्यांमार के विरुद्ध खेला जा रहा है। थाईलैंड और म्यांमार के बीच फाइनल चल रहा है। ये है मिक्स्ड क्वाड्रेंट इवेंट का यहाँ ISTAF सेपकटाक्राव वर्ल्ड कप 2025 में। ये खेला जा रहा है पटना में और यहाँ बिहार गवर्नमेंट ने काफ़ी साथ दिया है ताकि ये प्रतियोगिता यहाँ पर रखी जाए। साथ ही साथ बिहार स्टेट स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ने भी अपना समर्थन दिखाया है। बिहार गवर्नमेंट के खेल विभाग ने भी यहाँ पर अपना साथ निभाया है।
What should have been an advantage for Myanmar has been turned into maybe another nail in their coffin. Thailand serving to open the second set. You alternate who serves first, which team serves first, and Myanmar receiving the first point, so they wanted to get their noses in front and make the running from the front. But Thailand have held service on their first point, and then how about that, nodding that one over at the net. Tawisak, you're allowed to do that. And he's done it very well.
Nodding a corner kick into the right post.
I think you should be allowed to do that in tennis. Stand right at the front of the net and volley it straight back on serve. That'd make things fun and make for shorter points. Shorter points, this looks like being a short game and a short match. Thailand obviously have got a lunch reservation somewhere. Two points on their own service. It's the mark of a good team.
I think that lunch reservation is alongside us in the players' lounge.
Oh, that one just floats in onto the line. It's agonizing when it lands in against you, and it's beautiful to watch for Tawisak's three teammates. I think we're all going to be having an early lunch. All smiles there. They're 11 points from a gold medal.
Everything going Thailand's way. But you've got to say that today, surely, they have been much better than what they were yesterday.
That's right, that one didn't quite go their way in that it hit the arm. So it hit Tawisak's arm when it went over, and the referee very alert. With lofty perch there, top right of your screen, see that perfectly. Lofty, he's about on a level with Tawisak, and that man there, the number 4, floats through the air and then puts in a clinical spike.
That was Min Kant on that occasion for Myanmar. He's been awfully quiet actually today.
The whole Myanmar team has been rather quiet today. And obviously you've spurred him into action there. Myanmar need him in action sooner rather than later. Best of 3 sets, so Thailand already halfway there. And a third of the way towards the 15 points they need in this second set.
A good passage of play here for Myanmar as they get a few points. Particularly good on the net, and this time this was a traditional sunback spike by Min Kant. Generally goes for the roll spikes.
Myanmar raised their game earlier on day 5 in the semi-final against India. It was 13 all in the first set, and then they ran away with it, got the last 2 points, one of them on their own service, and then ran away with it in the second set. India rather lost their way, lost their cool. But it seems that they peaked for that semi-final when they eliminated the hosts and defending champions, and now they're looking, I was going to say a little bit tired, but if they can get a few more of those. That was an incredible spike from behind the Regu Tekong circle. Then get a few more of those, then maybe this match isn't over yet.
Min Kant again. He was the Tekong and then ran across to the net to take his favored position of being the striker. But overall, good teamwork by Myanmar. Saving that spike first, then retrieving it, setting it up very well. The captain Zinkoko playing his part.
So a point scored on their own service gets them back to level pegging, 6 all. Thailand getting the first 3 points and leading 6-3 as well. And of course, as soon as Myanmar have the opportunity to get their noses in front, the Thais say, we're having none of it.
Very well done by Thavisak. This time just placed it between the two players, and just the angle of the foot, it seemed to be a little different there.
Had some great slow motion replays. You can see where the players take the ball on the instep, on the side of the foot, the sole of the shoe. Fault called, and it's going to be Thailand's point. I think it was touching the net. Yes, you could see that. So Nin White touched the net, and there's a big loud call from the referee. A timeout's been called by Myanmar, trying to drag things around before it's too late. Plenty of fans in here at the Patlipurna Sports Complex on day 5 of the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025. Both teams winning points in bunches, and unfortunately Thailand getting more of these bunches and making this one even bigger. 4 points in a row for them now.
4 points in a row, and they've moved into double figures, 5 points away from clinching another gold medal here at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup.
Called out by the Thais. You could see them all put their arms up, the palms up straight, which is what the line judges do. And they were calling it out for effect. It's the line judge's job to do that, but the line judge did that. 11-6.
How beautiful. It was almost as if we were watching a replay and not real-time action. Look how slow that was, made even slower by the real replay.
Sole of the foot of Thavisak absolutely flat. He's saying, look how high I was. So off goes Thavisak. He goes, my job is done. In comes Putawan.
I think the youngster just must have told the coach that, hang on a minute, I would want some action of the final. Now that we are well on our way to a gold medal. He's got a smile on his face. That was a good serve. Very well done. It was a very good serve, and it was really difficult for Myanmar to retrieve that. Inching closer to victory, Thailand.
I think the Thais should play a bit of a prank on Putawan. I think Wipada, when she picks up the ball here, should set it for either Seksan or Masaya. No, they do things by the book. First point for Putawan, and it sets up 8 championship points.
That hit him hard, Sexton. Just holding his chest a bit of a laugh. And a few apologies from Minkant. It's not funny when it happens to you, is it?
Bit of a shame that it ends that way, but that is the way it ends, and Thailand take it 15-8, 15-7. They've defeated Myanmar, and they have picked up gold in the mixed quadrant event.
If ever there was a very convincing performance by Thailand, it is this at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025 in Patna, taking yet another title. The mixed quadrant event, Thailand have won 2-0 against Myanmar, 15-8, 15-7. And as the action intensifies here at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025, we are into day 5 and we've got more in store for you. And this is particularly something that I'm really looking forward to. We won't be seeing any more of Thailand. They conclude their campaign here in Patna on a victorious note. But here's what's next. Coming up at 2 p.m, the Regu event. Oh, I'm looking forward to this, the traditional format of the game.
You have much to learn, young Padawan, and I'll teach you lots in the afternoon.